Umar Ahmed, IFL TV, MTK Global. Thanks for the plug yesterday.
That's all right. It's all right. No, you're doing well. You're doing well. Started off a bit shit, but you've actually improved. No, you're doing well.
All right.
Some
That's
press
a compliment
there. Isn't it? Some press conference.
Oh, well, I want to get your reaction to it. Cash Ali, David Price.
No, well, I was expecting it all to come from Fitz and Fowler. I think Fitz is trying to stay calm because he's worked himself up so much. I don't think he wants to explode. But Cash Ali against Price, just absolutely out of nowhere. You know what it was? Cash Ali did an interview with Sky Sports and he said that Price was a quitter. And I think I've never seen David Price like it. I like it. I don't know if you like it, but I like it. And I'll tell you, this is going to be a great heavyweight fight. You've got one guy who is very, very vulnerable, also one of the biggest punchers in the division, against an undefeated fighter from Sheffield that people have been talking about for a while, but has never been tested. Now they've both got to back it up because they both talked a great game there. And I think now a lot of people were excited about that fight. Now everybody wants to see that fight, and me especially, because it's going to be very explosive.
Yeah, as you said, it was pretty respectful early on between David Price and Cash Ali. But
I think it was just that, literally that interview where he called him a quitter. I think that didn't hit home very well with David Price. And one thing Price said, and he gets a lot of stick, right? Even people say to me, why do you keep putting Price on your bill? One, because I like him, and two, I think he's very entertaining. He can knock your spark out and he can get knocked out as well. But one thing he said in that press conference, which I couldn't agree with more, was you wouldn't be sitting here now if you'd been through what I've been through. And actually, I couldn't agree more, but I don't think anyone would be. Do you know what I mean? Because what David's come back from, I think he needs credit for, but if he loses on Saturday, his career is over. So that's what he's fighting for. He believes he is levels above Cash Ali. They've sparred before. He believes he's going to knock him spark out inside 4 rounds. But Cash Ali has sparred with Price, and he believes Price is vulnerable. Price has no confidence. Price will gas.
Mentally gone.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the whole card. But that fight, like after what just happened there, has got my balls tingling.
Fowler Fitzgerald. I mean,
yes,
that's
just a great fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fight that a lot of people are excited about on the card. That's a fight that everybody in boxing is talking about as well. And it's unusual, isn't it? 2 undefeated prospects, really. That's what they are. They're prospects. And ultimately, you're talking about one guy who won the Commonwealth Games gold medal, another guy won the Commonwealth Games gold medal. They're both in the GB squad. They've fought before when they were 16 or 17. Fowler won that, but it was years ago. Now, little 10-ounce gloves on. A lot of talk. Fowler believes he's going to absolutely destroy Fitz. Fitz is in the shape of his life. I've never seen him before in this kind of shape. I've never seen him so focused. His weight is absolutely perfect. And I believe, Fowler says it's not a 50-50. I believe it is, because I just think they're so inexperienced in the pros. Mentally, someone could be weak on the night. Someone could get caught and lose their rag and make mistakes. That's why people love watching fights like this at this stage, because they are vulnerable. They're not ready. They're nowhere near their primes as a pro. So you get to see them raw and under pressure. And I love it. I love it.
We'll talk about the rest of the build later. Now, you said in an interview yesterday that I asked the questions that have got to be asked.
Yeah.
I hate to bring it up again.
Go on,
it's Deontay Wilder.
Yeah,
but he's done a recent interview. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think Coogan sent it to me last night. He just said the only way the fight happens is if it's 50-50. Yeah,
That's why he rejected the zone offer.
I just think that, there's no point in me saying anything negative. I'll let the fans decide whether you think that's right or not. And I know I've seen the response from that article and that video. So look, I'm not here to talk down or, talk badly about Deontay Wilder. If that's what he believes, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. For me, the focus is Jarrell Miller on June the 1st. Cool. Let's make sure that Anthony Joshua wins that fight, and then we can start talking about the undisputed fight. And Wilder's got to beat Brazil, So I don't know Wilder's mindset. I don't know his mentality. Is he believing this bubble, this hype too much? Because I know our guy, AJ, is the most focused individual on the planet. He ain't believing no hype. He's tucked away in Sheffield, in his little apartment, working hard, sparring, trying to improve, and that is the focus, Jarrell Miller. You can't look past Jarrell Miller. I've seen him on social media for the first time in a proper camp. This is Jarrell Miller, properly training hard, with great sparring. this is his chance to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world. If you start looking past a man that has that kind of hunger, it's dangerous. So for us, the Wilder talk is irrelevant. Let him do his interviews, let him have his opinion. Good luck to him. June 1, Madison Square Garden, that is the focus.
Of course. But you said on record that even if you offered him a 50-50 split, you believe he might not take it.
Yeah, I agree. So we might have to call his bluff one day. But, you know, he doesn't deserve 50-50 in my opinion. But, you know, it's up to AJ to say, well, if you have to give it to him, you know, you may never get the fight. I don't think this is a guy. Doesn't sound to me like a guy that really wants a fight. This is it. No negotiations. Like, you know. So I think maybe he's saying that because he knows he won't get it or he shouldn't get it. But again, let him fight Brazil. Concentrate on that fight against Brazil. Don't get beat in that fight. You know. And by the way, Dillian Whyte will probably be his mandatory anyway. So he's either going to have to fight AJ or Dillian Whyte, or you know, maybe no intervening bouts for Dillian, and he's got to fight Dillian next. I'd love to see that.
Another news: Usyk's vacated his WBA title, so
Yep.
Lebedev's the champion now.
Yep, and we look to make the Lawrence Okoli fight with Lebedev. I have the green light from Lawrence and his team to make that fight. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there has been discussions with the world of boxing and Vadim Kornilov about that fight happening in July. Obviously Usyk now has moved up to heavyweight. He'll be fighting Carlos Takam, and we're just sorting out the date because obviously we were going May the 18th. Now Wilder's going on that date. We don't want to clash with that show, so we're just tinkering May 17th
or 25th.
Yeah, possibly the 25th. So that'll all be decided by Monday at the latest. But you know, in terms of people waiting for news, it will be the heavyweight. It will be Carlos Takam next for Usyk.
All right. Callum Smith's here today.
Yes.
Obviously, we haven't heard anything on an opponent yet. Is the Benavidez fight realistic for this year?
Not for this year, yeah. Not next.
No.
And there's some talk now about Callum actually boxing on the AJ undercard. Obviously, while we're waiting for the Usyk date, that was the fight he was going to go on. But Joe and Callum want, if possible, to box at Madison Square Garden on the AJ undercard. Obviously, we're getting a bit of a logjam there at the moment. Brooke, potentially Katie Taylor, Callum Smith, Josh Kelly, Joshua Boatzy, etc., Tommy Coyle. So we've got to really sort that out over the next few days. Callum will be there on Saturday. We may have something sorted by then, but right now he's either boxing on that May 17 or 25 or the June 1 card at Madison Square Garden. Probably the latter.
I've got to say, if I could make one fight in boxing, it'd be that, honestly.
What, Callum Smith against Benavidez? Yeah, great fight. Great fight.
But I think Benavidez is fighting Darrell.
It's Benavidez against Darrell for the title, and the winner's got to fight Yildirim, which was ordered this week. So a little bit of a logjam, but obviously maybe a unification fight would supersede that.
What's going on with Kell Brook?
Kell Brook's on that card as well, June 1. So no, just a lot of it sort of depends on the Amir Khan fight as well. You know, he's got one eye on that. I think interested to try and obviously fight the winner of that fight. So we'll see. But
so he'll box at 147?
Probably 150 or 151. He's not ruling out 147, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens on April 20th with Amir, and obviously if Kell can get the win at Madison Square Garden and move on to a mega fight, whether that's Amir, whether that's Jesse Vargas, whether that's Jamie Munguia, whether that's Jarrett Hurd, who he's mandatory for as well.
Yeah, people are saying he's mandatory for Jarrett Hurd, so why not just take that fight?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't think Kell, you know, Kell would like to be 147. Whether his body will let him do it or not is another story. But if the right opportunities don't come up at 147, I see him fighting Jarrett Hurd at 154.
All right. You mentioned Crawford-Khan. How much of a chance do you give Amir in that fight?
Listen, Amir's an excellent fighter. I spoke to him the other day. He's trained very hard for this fight. He looks in great shape. Terence Crawford is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. So he is the natural favourite. But I know how determined Amir is. I know how skillful he is. I know how fast he is. And, you know, he's always got a chance in fights like that. He's the underdog, no question. But, you know, I think he's got the bit between his teeth to try and go and prove people wrong.
All right, quickly back to this bill. Sold out?
No, only £40 left. Collecting tickets from the fighters today. We're going to have about 8,000 in there. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. The Echo Arena now, M&S Bank Arena, is one of the best arenas in the country. Liverpool is one of my favourite cities. I just love being up here for fight night, and I love being up here. Now, as a promoter, cards don't always work out as you hope. Sometimes you put on an average card, sometimes you put on an amazing card, sometimes you put on a shit card. But I have to say that when you come somewhere like this and you put on a card like this, it's really nice to sit there and just know that everyone's buzzing. and the whole city is buzzing. You saw the turnout today; it's unbelievable. This is a proper fight city. You know, Smith-Eggington is going to be a great fight. It's going to be all action. Even Joe Hughes against Robbie Davis Jr., British and European. And people have forgotten about that fight. Farrell against Bowes for the Commonwealth title. That's on Facebook. Then you've got the big heavyweight fight, Cash Ali against David Price. You've got Fowler against Fitz. It's just a massive, massive night of boxing. And yeah, like I said, this is one that I'm going to really enjoy. Not just promoting the event, but as a fan, just get there and watch everything.
It's weird you're saying about this bill. Fowler Fitzgerald, right? I've been having people at uni come up to me asking about that fight. Normally it's just a pay-per-view fight, Fury. They're talking about Fowler Fitzgerald. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is, and that's a sign of really the social interaction and how that dominates people talking about fights. It's been all over social media. You know, people have been talking about it. It's captured the imagination. It's Liverpool against Preston. You know, he's bringing over 1,000 from Preston. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. 2 Commonwealth Games gold medalists, 2 GB teammates, 2 guys in similar positions in their career. It's everything that's right about boxing. You know, it's everything that, as a fan, makes you go, yes, that's what we want. 2 prospects putting on the line against each other. That's why I said, in the build-up to this fight, both guys have a big future because they're both of us. And really, if you're really doing things really, really properly and carefully, you wouldn't put them in against each other. But they both want it. They both believe they can win. And Sky want it, the fans want it. And boxing wins in fights like this. But they've both got big futures, whatever happens on Saturday.
Talking about social engagement with sports, I can't believe Coogan said badminton might be more popular than boxing.
That's a real bad reflection of him. You know what I mean, Coogan, that he thinks badminton is more popular than boxing. So maybe Matchroom need to get into badminton.
All right, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon.
And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do.